Hey guys, this is a quick tutorial how to go over how to create that Rubik's Cube file in SketchUp that we've been talking about in class. I'm currently already signed into SketchUp on the home screen, and over here is a Create New button. And next to the Create New button there is a drop down. The drop down is what I'm going to click on, and I want you to make sure that you're working in decimal millimeters. So I'm going to click decimal millimeters. It will take a moment to open up, and now we're in a brand new file. Now the first thing before we even start to create the actual Rubik's Cube model, the SketchUp, the drawing, right? We're already in a project, but it's untitled. So it's important at the beginning, when we open new files, make new models in SketchUp for schools, that we click on Untitled, which will bring up a dialog box. Save to, and where do you want to put it? So we all have different files that we've been using. I have my Drive. Because I'm a teacher, I have a middle school folder as well. I'm going to click on my Drive. I'm going to find, now I have my SketchUp folder out here. Some of you put your SketchUp folder into Classroom. I have Classroom over here, but I'm going to click on SketchUp, and now I'm in here, and I have some models. If you notice, I have another SketchUp folder inside. Those are some older models that I have, but for now, I'm in my SketchUp folder. As you see, Drives, my Drive SketchUp folder is where I am. I'm going to come to the bottom of the screen. It says Name. Enter a model name here, and I'm going to call this Rubik's, R-U-B-I-K'(S), Rubik's. I'm going to put Mr. H, and I'm going to put sample for video guide, just so I remember that that's what this particular one is. You just have to put Rubik's and your name, and that's all that you're going to put. You don't have to put that extra stuff in there. So right now, Rubik's Mr. H, and I'm going to click Save here. So now, when you look up at the top, it'll show the name of your actual file. Now, the next thing we need to do is, if you notice, Catherine over here, this is Catherine Johnson. If you right-click and go to look at the entity info over here, entity info, it says definition, she's Catherine Johnson. Not important, we don't need to know that entity info, but just, we have a woman standing here in the model. And I want you to keep in mind that a full-grown adult woman is upwards of close to, not necessarily at, but 6 feet tall, and we want to make this really small. In fact, we're only going to have our Rubik's Cubes, the little pieces, 10 by 10 by 10 millimeters. That's about the size of your pinky. So let's start by pressing the letter R, or over here on the right-hand side, there's the rectangle tool. That's the top one over here. And when we use a tool within SketchUp, it's important that you're going to click on a point. I like starting on the origin. You don't have to start on the origin. I will, but wherever you click, that's your choice. I'm going to click on the origin. I'm on there, it says so. I'm going to click let go of the mouse button. I'm only moving the mouse even though I'm not holding the button. And if you look, I'm dragging, I'm moving, but I'm not clicking again. It will keep showing and making that rectangle. And if you look down on the bottom right, I'm going to come over here. I'm not going to click there, but next to the bottom right where I am, it says dimensions, and it says 2,409 millimeters, 225 millimeters. Our rectangle should only be, even that is, almost 200 by 300. We want 10, so on my keyboard, 10, 10, and I'm going to press enter. Now, if you notice, there's a little black dot over there, and I just pressed the space bar. I'm going to zoom in. I'm right underneath the origin, and I'm zooming in. That's with my scroll wheel on my mouse. And if you notice, I have a really tiny square. Okay, the next thing I have to do is press the letter P. P is for push-pull. So, click on the surface you want to push-pull. Let go of the mouse button. Again, you can move the mouse around. It doesn't matter because we're going to type. And if it was 10 by 10 on the square, we also want it to be 10 on the height. So I'm going to type 10 and press enter, and now I have a 10 by 10 by 10 cube. Okay, I press the space bar again. The space bar is the select tool. And I'm going to click. This time I'm actually going to hold the mouse button. The select tool is one of the few tools that you might hold to select a certain area. So I've selected the whole area, and when I let go, it will be highlighted in blue. There it is. It's all highlighted in blue. I'm going to come to the area that I've selected, the entire cube, and I'm going to right-click on it. And I want to go over here to make it a group. Making a group takes all the, so I had a square, and I stretched it out into a cube, and a cube has 6 sides, and it has many edges, but I want to take it all and make it into one piece that I can move around or copy and move around. So I'm going to make it into a group. So if you look, now when I select it, the whole thing lights up, but it doesn't light up blue individually. It's the entire thing, and I can right-click on that and come up here and make a copy, right? Oops, copy is over here, make a copy. Or, as I like to do, I like to use my keyboard and do Control-C. But you could right-click on it and copy. And then, all right, can I right-click again and paste in place? And now, oh, I think I didn't do that. So let's do that again. Select it. I'm going to use my keyboard. Control-C is copy. Control-V is paste. I'm going to paste 1. I'm going to paste 2. Notice when I'm moving it around, you see the point that I'm holding it on? If I bring that point to the other point, and it tells me endpoint and group, click, and Control-V again, I'm going to bring that point. It's important to know where you're holding it from. I just zoomed out a little bit with my scroll wheel. Space bar for select. I'm going to select the entire stack. I'm going to right-click on it, and I'm going to make it into a group. Control-C is copy. Control-V is paste 1. Control-V is paste 2, bring it to endpoint. Control-V is paste third one. Now I have, I'll zoom out a little bit and move it over. H is for the hand to move the whole screen over. And I've made a whole wall. Space bar is the select tool. So I'm selecting now just the wall. So I have 3 stacks, makes 1 wall, and I'm going to right-click, and yes, you guessed it right. If you're thinking what I'm about to do, I'm going to make it into a group. So my cube is a group, my stack is a group, my wall is a group. I'm not going to group the whole thing afterwards, but here we go. I have the wall selected. I'm going to Control-C for copy, Control-V for paste 1, paste 2. I don't know where they're putting them, so I'm just kind of randomly putting it. And O is for orbit. I'm going to come over here, zoom out a little bit. Oh, there's Catherine. Look how big she is and how small my pieces are. So if you notice, this is the one that was selected. M is for move. I'm going to click on that bottom corner here, and I'm going to come and put it next to, oh, look, it says endpoint and group. I'm going to click and put it in place. Again, space bar for select. Select the wall that's way out here. M is for move. Take the corner of the group and bring it to the endpoint of that other over here. So now I'll orbit back around. So now I have 3 walls, but they're each separate. The front wall, the middle wall, and the back wall is separate. I am going to select them, but I'm not going to make them into a group. I'm going to Control-C for copy and paste 1 and paste 2. So now I have cube, stack, wall, whole cube, but the walls are separate, and 2 more copies of that where the walls are separate. And I'm just shy of 10 minutes, so I'll show you last thing without the coloring, just how to rotate. So I'm selected on here. Q is for rotate. You get that protractor tool. Click in the middle, click on the edge, and turn it a little bit. And if you notice angle, it says 30 on the bottom right. I'm going to type 45 and press enter. I could do the same thing. I'll zoom in on this guy here, space bar. I'm going to select the middle this time. Q is for rotate. I'm going to click on the center, and click on the side. Now notice I clicked on the front, but I'm moving the middle. And again, I could type the number 45 and press enter. And now I have 3 Rubiks. I'll do it like that and zoom in. That's where I want to stop right now for today. I made, one more time, a cube, a stack, a wall. And then I made 1, 2, 3 walls into a whole Rubik's Cube. And then I rotated one wall. I rotated one wall. We'll stop from there. I'll make a second video for the next part in terms of exploding the groups and being able to color it. But for today, that's where we're going to stop. And if you could get that far in your first shot with the Rubik's Cube assignment, that would be impressive. Have a nice day, and I'm looking forward to seeing your files. Ciao, ciao.